Hey guys, I wanted to take a minute to show you my Michael Jackson collection that I've had. You know, when something like this happens, you just want to, show the good things, I guess. Well, here's some tabloids that I picked up, over the years and whatnot. Here is an advertisement from my school newspaper dated October 21st, 1999, where I advertised my DJ service in the school newspaper. Right there. My old school newspaper. Me dancing like Michael Jackson at the pep rally at my high school. An old album there, The Got to Be There, Michael Jackson. And Maria, an old Jackson 5 song. Prehistory, I don't know if you guys have this album. It's a neat album if you're into the Jackson 5. This was before, it's called the Lost Steel Town Recordings. It's kind of a, you really have to be a Michael Jackson person to know that. This was Rock and Roll at 50 from Life magazine. Michael Jackson, the number 9th entertainer, I guess, of all time. But on the dance floor, one of my favorite albums. A book, Michael Jackson. His discography and awards listed in the back. Different pictures and things. Just an amazing, colorful book. It came with a CD interview as well. I picked that up years ago. And this one is called Michael Jackson, the book, and black and white photos, but nonetheless great pictures. All about his family growing up. Just intimate stories, just how the kids played together and his brothers and just everything. Just a really neat book. And my grandma got me this book. I used to read this at the public library, Michael Jackson. This is, gosh, I've had this stuff put away for so long, I don't even, I keep news stories and things anyways. Just amazing, colorful photos, and I'll treasure this for a long time. Just, this is more towards the 80s, just up until, even the Victory Tour, I think up to like 85, there's pictures in here. So at the time, this was really just a recent book. You see, these photos are past Thriller. This is like mid-80s. When the Victory Tour came out. That's with Randy, too, and one of the brothers. So that's a great book. More about me. Here was 80s day in high school. I was dressed in kind of the Way You Make Me Feel garb, because it was 80s day high school photos. Me at a school dance, dancing like Michael Jackson. Another kind of picture of me in sunglasses. Here is a book that I thought should be in a museum. This was my mother's book from the 1960s, Jackson 5. Look at the pages are yellowed, and just pictures in here. Really detailed stories about what daily life was like for Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5, growing up with the dad and sisters and relatives and cousins, and just stuff that you would never hear are in this book. And my most treasured, possession or accomplishment in high school, this was my high school yearbook from the year 2000. And there's me, dancing, dressed up as Michael Jackson, doing Billie Jean. This was a full-page spread in my high school yearbook, dancing at the pep rally. I think I won second place. The band had won first place. And then there's a crowd thriller, all about me. Here's a school newspaper. Cotter left moonwalking as rally audience roars. Jackson fever strikes. Floating on air, freshman Mark Cotter glides across the floor, performing his Michael Jackson moves. I've admired him for a long time, ever since I was little. I saw his music video, Beat It, and I couldn't believe he could do that dance, Cotter said. And there's a whole article about me, and then it continues on there. So, Dancing shoes, what? I've had these shoes for I don't know how long. So, thank you to everyone who has made tribute videos to Michael Jackson. I've been to some African American funerals in the past, and I know they like to celebrate the life of someone versus mourning the death of an individual. So let's say at James Brown's funeral, where Michael Jackson did attend, there was music, there were people talking, sharing stories, and I think that's a good way to, I don't know, grieve. There's been a little bit of talk, I don't know if you guys caught it on the news today, about Lou Ferrigno, the Hulk, who was acting as Michael Jackson's kind of personal trainer, and they were calling this 2-a-days thing where you work out twice a day. But you can't compare Michael Jackson to the Hulk, and I know they were friends a long time, and a lot of times when you're that famous that Michael Jackson was, people will sometimes gather, you know, come into your life. Eddie Murphy. Look at Eddie Murphy. He's told stories about Michael Jackson. They were friends back in the late 80s, early 90s. Go look at a video that Eddie Murphy did with Michael Jackson. The hearts, and they're all dancing around. What's up with you? What's up? What's up? What's up with you? You know. And Eddie Murphy had talked about in an interview, you know, he had just come out of doing Eddie Murphy Raw. He had been in Beverly Hills Cop or whatever, but it was Michael Jackson who kind of boosted Eddie Murphy's career, and Eddie Murphy was kind of like his sidekick for a while. He was in Remember the Time, you know, so Michael brought him in, and I don't want to say, and I'm not claiming that people like Eddie Murphy or Lou Ferrigno, in fact, Lou Ferrigno was in one of Michael's videos, The Liberian Girl, where there's a lot of famous people in there. So because he was so famous, people came into his life, and I don't want to say they used him, but no one got a grasp of the reality. You know, Michael Jackson's probably recently said, oh, I need a personal trainer, I'm going back on tour. And Lou Ferrigno comes along, maybe they're friends, he's like, hey, I'll do it. But he didn't look into Michael's, you know, condition. I mean, he couldn't have weighed more than 110 pounds, 150, you know, Michael's like 5'7", wears a size 7.5 shoe. He's a small guy, you know, your heart at 50 years old, your heart can't take that type of energy and working out, you know. And Michael's been known not to eat. He's starved himself, you know, before going on tour. You know, you'd have to really know Michael's condition before, you know, working out. And I don't think a lot of his doctors were in good communication, let's say, with his personal trainer. And I'm not knocking Lou Ferrigno, and I'm sure he had the best of intentions with Michael, but and only time will tell. You know, you're not supposed to die at 50. He was young, and I think a lot of people are looking for answers, and I'm really interested in how Europe is going to handle the death of Michael Jackson, and people just loved him. Find me one concert date of Michael Jackson's that was not sold out. Oh, so anyways, I went to the club tonight, and just like this, yes, I did. And they were playing Michael Jackson songs as soon as I walked in, and it was dollar drink night. And they played Billie Jean, and I got on the dance floor, and everyone just crowded around me, and you know, all the lights and everything, and I just danced my heart out. I did the whole Billie Jean routine from Motown 25, and it felt great. You know, it was like old times. And I think just from that little bit of memorabilia that I showed you guys, you can see how Michael Jackson's affected me as an entertainer and a DJ and music. And I was there tonight at the bar, and I asked for a new song. In fact, I asked for Blood on the Dance Floor, but he played Scream. And nobody, I mean, some people danced, but they didn't really dance to his newer stuff. That's kind of like my one wish, that his later music would have caught on. Time will tell. I love you guys. Practice and enjoy.